Welcome back. In this video, I would like to explain your Stabile sculpture planning sheet. What's expected of you on this homework assignment. First things first, please make sure that you put your name on your paper so that when you bring it to class, I know exactly who it belongs to. My name being Mr. Lundgren, you put your name there. Then put your grade number, your section, maybe this is 5B, and then write your teacher's name into the slot there. Alright? These are the supplies that you will be using on your project. You will have a 6 by 9 inch stabilizing piece of cardboard. You'll have a 9 inch by 9 inch main piece of cardboard that will make up the main sculpture. And you'll have a 9 inch by 9 inch approximate size for the remaining 5 pieces of balancing pieces like this over here that you'll make for your sculpture. Okay? Then for our wires, you're going to have 5 pieces of wire at a minimum. You're going to need a 12-inch piece that we'll put right in here for our main balancing fulcrum. Then you're going to have a 6-inch piece for bar number 1, which is this one down here. Okay, then you're going to have an 8-inch piece for bar number 2, this one here. Then you'll have 10 inches for bar number 3, which is this one. We're going to skip this one here and pretend that this one is attached all the way up here. And you'll have a 12-inch piece, the number 5 here, 12-inch piece for the bar that goes right over the top. Okay? Other supplies you're going to need along the way, possibly 3 jump rings or more, 1 brass brad, and paint to paint it at the end. Your directions for your homework are to do this. Number 1, do a Google search for Stabile sculpture. Look through all the images, pull out different ideas that inspire you. Okay? By that I mean maybe you find this balance piece from one Stabile, you find a base from a different Stabile, and you're going to put all those different ideas together, smash them up, rearrange them, come up with some of your own ideas, and use all of these ideas to plan the design for your Stabile. And then we'll try to stick with your particular design that you've created as you move through the project. Alright? Try to come up with a theme. I want you to have unity of shape. So like this one being an oval, then this is an oval, and an oval, and an oval, and all these are having a feeling of unity because they're using the same shape. So I want you to create some unity of the shape. Next, design the wire parts and show how they would actually look in your final model when it's all properly balanced. This one being properly balanced, exactly like the artist is choosing to kind of create this sweeping motion. Alright, I want you to draw yours out so that you have a good idea of what it should look like. A guide for you later when you do start actually bending your wires. Draw all of this, the final version, on the back of this piece of paper and turn it in at the beginning of class, not the end of class or the middle of class. In class, you're going to use this design to measure out your own tracing templates, and you can watch the next video about that in just a moment when you're done with this one. Now, on the back of this paper, it looks something like this. This is a miniature of a 9-inch by 9-inch piece of paper that you'll use to make your designs in class. This is a miniature version of your 9 by 6-inch piece that you'll use in class. This is an approximation. It does not have to be 9-inch by 9-inch. It can be whatever we have. It can be just leftover scrap. And this is what you'll put your hanging pieces on, the pieces that will hang as part of your Stabile sculpture. Now, here are the directions. Draw your sketch below in this area. You should think about how your sculpture will interact with the ground. Alright? You should have a front view, a side view showing the stabilizing piece, and include the idea of triangulation, having that triangle on the bottom. Alright, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through this video. Clearly draw out the bars on your hanging pieces so that you can balance them against each other. Show the approximate and relative size of the shapes. One of your pieces, the heaviest one, must be balanced against all of the other 4 pieces, creating an asymmetrical hanging design. So, as an example of a finished product, this is what I would hope to see. Your designs up here, and what you're going to cut out from your cardboard pieces, a side view, a front or back view to show where your stabilizing piece will be, and then how you plan to have your sculpture hanging and balanced. So I'm going to redraw this as part of my demonstration. Okay, so starting out, my Stabile sculpture, here's what I create in the next video. My Stabile sculpture is going to look something like this. Here's my main piece, which is going to be 9 by 9, and my stabilizing piece, which will be 9 by 6. If I take these two and slide them together like this, the two will stand here on the ground, and they'll stand up. Sorry that it's like right in the camera. They'll stand up something like that, and it should be stable. If I turn it this way, you can kind of see how it interacts here, touches the ground here, here, and here, creating a triangle. Okay, you want to have that triangle piece on the bottom. So what I'm going to be drawing here is the design for the main piece and the design for the stabilizing piece. Okay, so getting started. My design is symmetrical, meaning it's going to be the same on both sides here and the same on both sides there. So there's my line of symmetry. If you don't want yours to be symmetrical, that's fine. You do it however you want. That design choice is up to you. So it's going to start at the top here, curve down, over, and go out this corner. So if we look at my design here, you can see that the corner, the middle, and the corner all have to be touching the ground. So I'm going to draw the other line here on the left hand side. Please bear with me if it's not perfectly symmetrical. I know that I'm not always perfect in these demonstrations. Okay, so it looks something like that. Then I want to cut out these little curved parts on the bottom so that there's a little space underneath my sculpture, but yet the middle piece here is still touching the ground. So this is like my concept design for what this piece will look like in my next video. Then the stabilizing piece is likewise symmetrical. Okay, so bear with me again. I'm going to do my best. I had it coming down here, and then I had my little slotted piece here, and then a rounded piece up and a rounded piece down, so that the stabilizing piece is as long, or rather wide, as this 9-inch side from here to here. Alright, and I'll do my best to get this side approximately right. Okay, and you're going to spend a nice amount of time on this, do a nice job, so when I look at it in class, I have a clear idea of what you're going for. Okay, this is my final piece, and you can notice how this version is a miniature of what I do here. Then, in this last box, design your hanging pieces. Since I've got kind of this ovally, curvy shape here, I'm just going to design these in like this, and you can look at the future video of how I've done this. My main largest piece, then you need 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 are going to be super small because they're going to be the lightest ones. Try to situate the stuff so that you have some leftover cardboard for later on if you need to add pieces to here or there or the other place. Okay, so that's our designs here for our cardboard. I'm going to be looking at this before I give you cardboard in class to make sure you have a clear idea of what you want your cardboard to be cut out like. Now, at the bottom where you're going to draw your sketch, all right, my sketch here shows how these 3 pieces are going to interact with the ground here. So as you draw this, make sure that you're trying to mimic what you've got in your final piece. And I'm actually going to draw this quite a bit smaller than the other version because I want to have enough space for the hanging piece. So let's pretend that I've got my main piece interacting with the ground there. I've got the curve, and then something like that. Actually, it's probably going to be a little thinner, like that. Okay, now the other side of it is going to be hitting the ground at about the same place, right? And we'll see a little bit of the outside here. It'll go behind and maybe come out right here where it's kind of interacting with the ground, go up here like that. So I'm kind of doing that dotted line behind there so you can see that I've thought of what the other side is going to look like. Now my stabilizing piece is going to interact with the ground right here, same plane as these ones, and it's going to slot up into my sculpture about that far. And I'm actually just going to shade this in with some cross-hatch lines to kind of show where that is. Now if I show that from the back, so here if I take this sculpture, the actual sculpture,
slide it together. This is what I'm showing now, kind of like this way from the side, so you're seeing the sorry, my camera's a little too low. Showing this kind of side view, so you can see this cardboard, you can see the other side, and you can see kind of the spine on the front and the feet at the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to show the back view, kind of like this, so I can see how this stabilizing piece is interacting with the other parts. So if I continue this piece here, you know, my stabilizing piece is maybe like this, and my main piece comes up here with the center line about there, these parts curving down, curving out, and the foot of it ends right here along with the stabilizing piece. It's notched right here, so that notch in my stabilizing piece is going to line up with the legs of my sculpture. So I'm trying to draw a view something like that. So I, the teacher, have a clear vision of you, of what you're going to do, and you have a clear vision of what you are going to make yours look like once you get to class. Now, the last piece, the hanging piece, you're going to have one piece like this that's going to come up and be the main fulcrum. Okay, then this one piece is going to have to be like, the center of it is going to have to be like the center of gravity over your main stabile sculpture here, so that your stabile doesn't fall over. Then you need to have your heaviest piece, your biggest piece, whatever you want to think of it, on one side. All right, your heaviest piece, biggest piece. A wire is going to come over your main fulcrum and have a loop that you'll attach a jump ring to. And that jump ring is going to attach to yet another loop. All right, and that other loop is going to have, we'll call it piece number 4. I'm doing ovals, sorry. Let's call this piece number 4. I'm going to call this number 5 because it's our heaviest last piece. I'm going to call this piece number 4, and it's going to come through and it's going to loop into your jump ring and over to here where you've got yet another loop. Then you're going to have another jump ring here, and you're going to follow the same procedure. You're going to have piece number 3 balanced off a loop. It's going to be having another loop, and then number 2 and 1 are going to be balanced, and please bear with me. Number 1 and 2 are going to be balanced off that one. So you're going to have all of, and I'm just going to draw a big dotted line here, all 4 of these pieces balanced against number 5, all supported over the main fulcrum. Okay? Now, this design I want you to draw clearly so that I can understand, that you understand, that one piece is going to balance against all 4. And all 4 of these pieces are balanced against each other. There's no like tree thing where you've got one piece here and you've got another piece here and you've got another piece here and you're like, there you go, Mr. George, that's my stabile sculpture. No, I want you to make sure that you understand one piece balanced on this half of the sculpture, and all the other 4 pieces are balanced against it on the other half of your sculpture. Okay? Now that is how you finish your homework for your stabile sculpture. If you have any questions, you can put a comment on the video, contact me through Edmodo, or simply just come to my classroom and ask me in class. Okay?